Well, good morning everyone. You thought you'd got rid of me, but I'm back. It's Breakfast with Evo and a little special edition to bring you the results of this week's competition, which was the competition that you had to find all those answers, get the anagrams sorted out and find out what the name was of that popular breakfast show that's been on in the mornings. So we'll have a look at that afterwards, but now the lockdown is over. I haven't hit a ball in front of you guys yet, and today I'm going to sort that out. I'm going to show you my new plane swing machines. They're absolutely fantastic. They can sort out a few things as well. We've got the wedge to give away at the end of it, and there was lots of you that wrote in with the right answers. I'm going to show you those today, but first of all, it's off to the driving range where I'm going to show you a few woes that I had with my own swing and how I managed to fix them in about 20 minutes and then go out and shoot 31 on the front nine. Yep, miracles will never cease. 31 on the front nine, including a 2 on number 5. Now that smartens the card up a little bit. Let's get to the range and go and have a look and see how I fixed my swing because it was in such a poor position. Well, I guess it's been the same for every person who's played golf after the lockdown. You've come back, everyone's a bit rusty, no one's been able to use the driving range. Of course, that was a few weeks ago now, and everyone's back at it. We've been full with people having lessons. Everyone's been doing so much better now, practicing on the range. And today, Saturday, people are out playing golf in a competition for only the second time since we started coming back to play golf. And looking at the scores from last Tuesday, Stableford, there was loads of fantastic scores, and I'm sure they'll be the same today, despite the guys playing from the back tees. I'm sure the scores will be really, really good, just like they were Tuesday. So well done to those people on Tuesday. We'll see what the scores are like tonight. But this is all about swings now and how we're going to improve the path and plane of your swing to get you striking the ball a lot better. And I'm actually going to use an example of me when I came back and played 9 holes, my first 9 holes of golf after the lockdown, and I was absolutely rubbish. I kept the ball on the golf course, no problem, but my ball striking was absolutely appalling. And now I'm going to tell you that my club, my arms and my club shaft weren't on plane, and this is a really, really important part of what makes you strike the ball really, really well. So we're going to have a look at that now in greater detail. I'll show you what I was doing wrong, and then I'm going to show you what I was doing right to actually fix it. So as a player who generally swings the club pretty quickly in the downswing, I've always been fighting a swing which is too much in to out. That gets me to hit the ball left at times, or to create too much shape from right to left. So my intention is always to make sure that I get the shaft into a bit of a steeper position in the backswing, and that helps me to keep the ball a lot straighter. Unfortunately, because the club isn't coming from the right direction in the downswing though, sometimes that can have an effect on the distance that you hit the ball, and for me that was becoming a real issue. So if I show you what was wrong, let's have a look at that now. If we look at the way that the golf club is set behind the ball, you'll see the angle of the shaft in this position, and really to get the club perfectly on plane, I really want to try and copy the same angle here as the shaft is in here. So as I rotate away, you can see that the wrist set the golf club and it's now behind me, and that gives me the ability to pull down. The golf club is behind me all the time, and that's what allows me to crack it from the inside, strike the ball as well as I can, hit it from the inside, and that means that it's going to go its furthest distances because it's not been hit with any side spin. That's a great position to be in. But because over the years I've been a bit cautious about what I've been doing, now my swing has tended to look a little bit more like this. And as you can see, the shaft is now nowhere near in the right position, and the club is too much upright, and that was causing me to hit a bit across the ball and actually produce a fade when I didn't really want it. So I took a video of myself, had a good look at what I was trying to find out. I had a fairly good idea, but of course now the job is, how do I get the club from this position here back on plane as quickly as I possibly can? Well, I'm going to go on my plane swing machine, 2 new machines that I've got from the States. They basically work on the same principle as the explainer that we used to have, but unfortunately that's seen better days because it had literally been here for about 10 years. All of these have got brand new working parts, fantastic, ready to practice on and get yourselves better. So let's get over to the plane swing now. I'm going to show you the work I did to actually improve my swing in just 20 minutes. Well, here we are. We've come up on the explainer station. I've now got 2 brand new plane swing machines, and I've also got the junior machine as well, which we teach a lot of the kids on. Gets them to get the club back online, perfect plane of shaft, and that's why they strike the ball so well at that young age. Fantastic to see. But for the likes of me and for the likes of you, if you slice the ball, if you hook the ball too much, if you're just not getting consistency out of your shots, then you should seriously be thinking about getting a session sorted out with one of us professionals on one of the plane swing machines, because it's going to make a massive difference to you, just like it made to me. So I'm going to set up on here now. We're going to have a really close look at what was going on with my swing from both sides, so you can see the difference. Then we're going to see how much it improved the ball striking. Let's get in there now, have a look. Well, here we go. We're right in the middle of the hoop now. I'm going to take my setup, and you're going to be furnished with one of these rollers during your session, and it's got a coloured line on the bottom, and all I do is I place that coloured line onto the hoop, and then I get the writing of the grip exactly on the top. And remember, you should always be getting the writing on your grip at the top before you take your grip on the golf course. Now I'll take my grip, remember, V's pointing between the right shoulder and the chin, and now I'm set up ready to go. So my problems were that when I came back, my club was lifting off this hoop here and now setting far too steep here. So as you can see, I'm actually nowhere near. Now my swing then rotated more, got the golf club back onto the explainer, and then it made its journey down. So the journey down was generally from a good place. But the problem was I didn't really feel like I could attack the downswing by pulling my wrists forward and holding the angle of the shaft enough, because I then thought that I'd hit the ball left, not a confident release position. So let's have a look and see how we changed that in just a short period of time. And all we do here now, get the grip, and on the end of this roller there's an antenna. It's got a ball on the end, and the key thing for me here, remember, plane is set by the position of the shaft at address. Have a look there, and as I rotate away, you can see that when I set my wrists, the antenna ball is now facing the ball, or in this situation, the position of the lower hoop. Now I can carry on and finish my turn. Now have a look at the ball, and as I come down, the ball stays in position facing the hole, and that's when I release the other way, and now you can see that the ball is facing the lower hoop as well, so that the shaft is on a perfect plane for my height all the time. This one here is set on 0. That's a good height for me to practice on. So let's have a look and see how I practice. What I'm going to try to do is to now feel as if the golf club rotates away and through, rotates away, and I've added a little bit of hinging of the wrist there. And remember, as I hinge the wrist, where should the butt of the club point? Of course, at the lower hoop. Then I can pull it down and release it, and I'm practicing the same things. I'm going to show you that from the other side now, so I can actually show you the position of the shaft when it was in its bad position, and now it's in a much better position. Okay, so now we're looking from the line of the backswing. If you were standing behind me on the golf course, this is exactly what you'd see. Setting up into position. Now I get my grip right, feet, hips and shoulders parallel. And what was I doing? Going back and setting the golf club far too steeply like this. Now you'll see that the ball on the end of this here, on the end of the antenna, it's actually facing down to the ground, very close to my feet. And for me, realistically, I love that position, but it's just far too steep and it causes me to misstrike the ball. Now have a look what's happened. To set myself up, I rotate my wrists, and when they hinge, let's have a look and see what's happening now. This is a much better position, and as I come back down and through, let's have a look and see how that releases the other way. And all we're looking at is the angle of the golf club here, the angle of the golf club here, which is now the same, and I release it like that, and of course it's now released at exactly the same angle as well. I practice this by going back and two, back and two, back and two. So let's have a look at that without it being too boring. Let's have a look and see how I'd practice. This roller is really heavy, and that's what gives me that instant feedback. So when I go and hold my golf club and I hold it nice and lightly, it's easy for me to feel like it goes in the right position. Let's have a look. Back and hinge, ball at the lower hoop there, release. Back again, release. Back again, release. Back again, release. This doesn't look like a very long swing, but I can tell you that it's powerful, and as long as I'm turning my shoulders, it's in a completed position. The object of the exercise would be to come in here 2 or 3 minutes, get back out on the mat, 2 or 3 balls. Back in here 2 or 3 minutes, back on the mat, 2 or 3 balls. And that repetitive nature of what you're trying to do with the plane of your swing, it's gonna make you hit the ball further almost straight away. Let's have a look again before we go back. Concentrating on the rotation of the chest and the wrist hinge, I turn and hinge, now I turn and hinge through. Turn and hinge, now I turn and hinge through. Turn and hinge and turn through. It's really easy to do, and as you can see, that roller is staying on this hoop the whole time, and that means the path of my swing is absolutely perfect. Let's go and have a look and see how it's changed my swing. We'll go and hit a hybrid from the top and see how well I can hit that one. Okay, I've come back out on the mat here now after my 4 or 5 minutes in there, maybe less, depends how you feel. Come back, hit a couple of shots, go back again, get more feel. Let's have a look at that now. Before I try to hit a shot, of course I'm going to have a practice now. I'm going to try to practice exactly what I did over there, so let's have a look at that. And I'm just going to feel that the chest rotates and the wrist hinge. There we are, great position. Finish my turn, and as it comes down the same, you can see it goes the other way. So I've already picked up some great feel from the plane swing, and now I'm ready to go and actually try and put it into practice with a shot. Let's have a little look at that. Nice and relaxed. Feel the chest rotating and the wrists hinge the club. Well, we liked that one straight away. I felt that was more out of the middle of the club, and I really felt like I had the ability to pull down. Let's do one more, get the same feel. A couple of practice swings first. Remember to do the practice swings. Feel like the golf club's in the right position. Rotate the chest. There's the wrist hinge. Look at the angle of the golf club. It's ready to come down. It's in a perfect place. Let's get going again. Nice and relaxed. Well, that was a great feel. It was right out the middle of the club, and I felt like I'd got those wrists into that position where I could bring the club down absolutely perfectly, late delivery of the club, and really get as much power as I could. We're going to have a look at that from the other side now, and we'll also slow a couple down so you can see exactly what's going on. Okay, so I think you can see from that slow motion shot from behind how that wrist angle enabled me to lag that club behind me and create so much power. It was a lovely, nice high shot. Really pleased with that one, and it felt so much better than the, you know, more complicated positions that I've been achieving in my backswing. So that simple change, put it back online, it's really much better. I'm going to set up here. Let's have a look at this one in slow motion from that side, and we're looking more this side here so we can see the pull, but also as well you can see how I rotate within myself. I'm just turning and hinging and doing exactly the same in the forward swing direction as well. Let's have a look at that. Well, I'm really pleased with that one as well. Didn't catch it quite as well as the one from behind, but it was a super straight shot. Would have landed on any green I was going if it was the right distance. So very pleased with that. And overall, massively pleased with the way that these changes have worked for me. Remember, if they can work for me, you know, they can work for absolutely anyone. So make sure you talk to us about the shape of shots that you're hitting, because something as simple as this, and 20 minutes it took me, that's all, and it really gave me some quick feedback. Managed to take that on the golf course and hit the ball off the tee as well as I've hit it for absolutely years. So just make sure that you talk to us, get something booked in, and maybe we can help you out as much as that as well. We're going to crack on with looking at that quiz result in a minute, so hang on for that. I need to find a mystery guest to draw the winning ticket, so see you all in a minute for the draw. Well, it's absolutely fantastic to see people up on the patio having a drink and a beer after playing golf. It's been a long time coming. The tee system seems to be working fantastically well. You're all enjoying your golf. The course has been packed all the time. The pace of play has been brilliant. Absolutely just superb. Remember, golf is the new cycling, so get as many of your family involved as you can. It really is going to be booming again, really popular. On with the quiz results, and I'm going to go back to the driving range because I'm going to get a mystery guest to pull out the winning ticket. You had all those questions to answer. Some of them you'd needed to Google, but once you'd actually found out what all those letters were, you had to make the anagram and get that breakfast show, that golf breakfast show that you needed to find. So let's go to the range. We'll pull a winning ticket out of the hat, and remember to answer that question correctly. What was the answer when you put all those letters together? It was Breakfast with Evo. Of course it was. The most popular breakfast golf show in the world, Breakfast with Evo. 19 of you got that correct. Well done to those 19. All of your names are in a hat. Well, they're all on a sheet of mine with some numbers in a hat. We're going to draw one of those out in a minute. We're going to tell you who's won the Cleveland RTX wedge. And Alan Nash, if you win it, you can't have a 4-degree bounce because all I've got is a 3. Let's go to the range, draw the winning ticket, and see who's won the wedge. Well, I've managed to find a mystery guest over here on the putting green, dragged her away from the gin and tonic. It's Mrs. Paula Glixton. Social distancing, Paula. Right, okay, so we're going to draw out that name of that winner. The person who's won the RTX 4 wedge with the 3 degrees of bounce, Mr. Nash. And remember, I've got all the names down here. Paula's got the box, it's got all the numbers in it. We're just going to take out one ticket, and from that one ticket there, it's going to give us a number. It's going to correspond to those 19 names on my sheet. We're going to have a look at those and tell you who the winner is. So, Mrs. Glixton, without further ado, away we go.
Little shuffle around.
Little shuffle around. Here we go.
Number 15.
It's number 15. Let's have a look. Number 15, he's entered every single competition for 7 weeks on Breakfast with Evo. It's Mr. Gary Steeden. He was on the range watching me make this film, quite unbelievable. And Mrs. Glixton, round of applause, Gary. Well done.
Well done, Gary.
You win the wedge, Gary. There it is right there. I don't know whether you need it or not, but we'll certainly see. Well, that's it for this episode. I'll be back again with more. Remember what we've done today with the plane machines. They're going to help you to improve. That's why I've invested. I believe in those pieces of kit so much. All I want you to do, get a session booked. If you feel you're not hitting it far enough, if the shape of your shots isn't good enough, get to see us, get on the plane swing, and that's going to improve your golf. I'll see you next time with Breakfast with Evo. Thank you, Paula.
Thank you. Goodbye.